my dear children. How are you all? Are you all happy? Do you have any tension? ഉണ്ടോ? ടെൻഷൻ ഉണ്ടോ? ഉണ്ടല്ലേ? കുറച്ചൊക്കെ ടെൻഷൻ ഉണ്ടല്ലേ? എന്തിനാ ടെൻഷൻ? What will happen if you have tension, worries, or if you are in a depressed state? What will happen? Just think. You will not be able to do nicely, isn't it? You will not be able to perform nicely. അങ്ങനെയാണോ വേണ്ടത്? അല്ലല്ലോ. നമ്മൾ ബെസ്റ്റ് ആയിട്ട് ചെയ്യട്ടെ എല്ലാ കാര്യങ്ങളും. So what do you have to do? You have to release all your tensions. If we have tensions, what will happen? We will sink. So you should not allow yourself to sink. What do you have to do? You have to float. You have to overcome all these situations. Okay, so you should never sink. You have to float. Okay, so keeping this in mind, I am moving on to my topic, flotation. You might have seen certain objects sink in water, whereas some objects float on water, isn't it? What may be the reason for that? Have you ever thought of that? Okay. So, can you give me some objects that sink in water? Yes, stone, isn't it? Then, metal piece, coin, etc. Then give me some names of objects that float on water. Wood, paper, leaf. Then anything else? Rubber cork, isn't it? So all these objects float on water, whereas some objects sink in water. What may be the reason? Already you have studied in 8th standard. What you have studied? Objects whose density is more than the liquid sink in water, whereas the objects whose density is less than that of the liquid float on water. That is the reason why kerosene float on water, whereas stone sink in the water. Okay, so one of the factors is density. Let us see whether there are any other factors that influence this flotation. So before going in detail, let us do one experiment. Take an aluminium foil. I have shaped in the shape of a vessel. Okay, so what I am going to do is, I am going to place this aluminium foil vessel on the surface of water. See what happens? Yes, the aluminium foil vessel float on the water, isn't it? Can you tell me the reason for that? Look at this vessel. It is having more area, isn't it? That is, we can say this vessel has more volume. So what will happen here? Here, due to the high volume, or the vessel is having more volume. So what is acting from the water in the upward direction? Buoyant force is acting, isn't it? So here, buoyant force is more, or buoyancy increases as the volume of the vessel is more. Due to that, the vessel float on the water. Is it clear? And there is one more reason. What is that? Let us go back to the Archimedes principle. Archimedes principle states that what happens? The object, when it is immersed in a liquid, it displaces water equal to its weight. The same way, when we place this aluminium foil vessel on the surface of water, it displaces water equal to its weight. Okay, അതായത് നമ്മൾ ഇത് വെള്ളത്തിന്റെ മുകളിൽ വെക്കുമ്പോൾ ഇതിന് ഈക്വലന്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള വാട്ടർ അത് ഡിസ്പ്ലേസ് ചെയ്യും, അങ്ങോട്ട് ഡിസ്പ്ലേസ് ചെയ്ത് കൊടുക്കുകയാണ്. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഈ വെസൽ ഫ്ലോട്ട് ചെയ്തിട്ട് കിടക്കുന്നത്. Second case, what I am doing is, I am going to fold this aluminium foil into a ball. Okay, so you have to tell me what happens when I place this ball on the surface of water. Let's see what happens. Okay. What happens? It sinks in the water. In this case, what happens or why this aluminium foil ball sinks in water? Can you tell me? Yes, the volume of that ball is less, isn't it? When volume decreases, what happens to the buoyant force? Buoyant force also decreases, isn't it? That is the reason why it sinks in the water. Is it clear? And one more thing, when you place this aluminium foil ball into the water, it is not displacing water equal to its weight. അതിന്റെ വെയിറ്റിന് ഈക്വലന്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള വാട്ടർ അത് ഡിസ്പ്ലേസ് ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല. മനസ്സിലാവുന്നുണ്ടോ? അത് ചെയ്യാത്തത് കൊണ്ടാണ് എന്ത് സംഭവിക്കുന്നത്? അത് സിങ്ക് ചെയ്ത് പോകുന്നത്. മനസ്സിലാവുന്നുണ്ടോ? So two things we have learned here, that is, if volume increases, buoyancy also increases. So in the first case, when it was in the form of a vessel, volume is more and buoyancy also increases. And one more thing we have discussed, in the case of aluminium foil vessel, it displaces water equal to its weight. Okay, that is the reason why it floats on the water. And in the second case, when we fold this aluminium foil into a ball, what happens to the volume? Volume decreases and buoyancy also decreases. Or in other words, we can tell the ball does not displace water equal to its weight. That is the reason why it sinks in water. Is it clear? So can you tell me the reason for the object to float? We can tell if the weight of the object is equal to buoyancy, what happens? It floats. Is it clear? Now what will happen if the weight of the object is greater than buoyancy? If it is greater than buoyancy, it sinks. Understood? What is the reason for the objects to float and sink in the water? Okay, so I'll give you one example. What happens when you put an iron nail into the water? ഒരു ആണി എടുത്ത് വെള്ളത്തിലിട്ട് എന്ത് സംഭവിക്കും? നമുക്കൊക്കെ അറിയാം അല്ലേ? എന്ത് സംഭവിക്കും? It sinks in the water. But a ship made of iron floats on water. അല്ലേ? ഇത്ര വലിയ ഷിപ്പ് വെള്ളത്തിൽ ഫ്ലോട്ട് ചെയ്ത് തുടങ്ങും. ഒരു കുഞ്ഞി ആണി വെള്ളത്തിൽ മുങ്ങിപ്പോകും. എന്തായിരിക്കും കാരണം? That is, the ship displaces water equal to its weight. നമ്മുടെ ഷിപ്പിന്റെ മേലെ എത്രമാത്രം വെയിറ്റ് ആഡ് ചെയ്ത് കൊടുത്താലും എത്ര ലോഡ് ചെയ്താലും the ship displaces water equal to its weight. And one more thing, the volume of the ship is more. That is the reason why the ship floats on water, whereas an iron nail sinks in the water. Okay, iron nail's volume is less, isn't it? And the iron nail does not displace water equal to its weight. So I hope you understand. You understood why some object float on water and why some object sinks in the water. Is it clear? So we can tell the weight of the object is equal to the buoyant force, and this buoyant force is equal to the weight of the water displaced. മനസ്സിലാവുന്നുണ്ടോ? അതായത് ഒരു ഒബ്ജക്റ്റ് ഫ്ലോട്ട് ചെയ്ത് കിടക്കുന്ന ഒരു ഒബ്ജക്റ്റിന്റെ വെയിറ്റ് അതിന് ഈക്വലന്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ളതായിരിക്കും ബോയൻസി. അതായത് weight of the object will be equal to the buoyant force. ഇപ്പോൾ 50 ന്യൂട്ടൺ ആണ് വെയിറ്റ് എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഫ്ലോട്ട് ചെയ്ത് കിടക്കണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ എത്ര ബോയന്റ് ഫോഴ്സ് അവിടെ ആക്ട് ചെയ്യണം? അതും 50 ആയിരിക്കണം, 50 ന്യൂട്ടൺ ആയിരിക്കണം. അതേപോലെ തന്നെ ആ ഒബ്ജക്റ്റ് ഡിസ്പ്ലേസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന വാട്ടർ നമ്മൾ വെയിറ്റ് എടുത്ത് നോക്കിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഇറ്റ് വിൽ ബി ഓൾസോ 50 ന്യൂട്ടൺ. So we can tell weight of the object is equal to the buoyancy, which is equal to the weight of the water displaced. Okay, so weight of the object is equal to buoyant force which is equal to the weight of the displaced water. Is it clear? Object float cheyyunnundengil idakeyana condition. So now we will study the principle of flotation. Okay. So what is the principle of flotation? Just see. Weight of a floating body is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by it. Okay, the weight of a floating body is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by it. ആ ഒബ്ജക്റ്റ് ഫ്ലോട്ട് ചെയ്ത് കിടക്കുന്ന ഒരു ഒബ്ജക്റ്റിന്റെ വെയിറ്റിന് ഈക്വലന്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള വാട്ടർ വേണം അത് ഡിസ്പ്ലേസ് ചെയ്യാൻ. When a body is fully immersed in a fluid, the volume of the displaced fluid will be equal to the volume of the body. Understood the principle of flotation? Okay. Let us move on to the next topic. Before going on to the topic, let me ask you a question. Have you ever experienced a comparison or whether you have compared yourself with others? എപ്പോഴെങ്കിലും നമ്മുടെ ലൈഫിൽ നമ്മൾ എന്തെങ്കിലും കമ്പയർ ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടോ? ഉണ്ടാവില്ലേ? എസ്പെഷ്യലി യുവർ മാർക്സ്. എന്തിനാ? ടെൽ മീ വൈ യു കമ്പയർ? Yes, you are right. To improve us, isn't it? In the same way, in physics, we do comparison to understand the density of liquids. Okay, so we are moving on to the next topic, relative density. Relative density. See, what happens when you take kerosene and water in the same vessel? What happens? You know, kerosene floats on the water, isn't it? What's the reason for this? That also you have studied, because density of kerosene is less than that of water. So here, in the case of relative density, we are comparing the density of other liquids with respect to water. Is it clear? So what is relative density? Relative density tells how many times the density of water is the density of other substance. Is it clear? So we are comparing the density of other liquids with respect to water. We will tell kerosene's density is less than that of water, whereas for example, yes, honey, glycerin, sugar solution, mercury, etc. Okay, so these liquids are having density greater than that of water. And now tell me some liquids whose density is less than that of water. We know if the density is less, what will happen? It floats on the water, isn't it? So can you name some of the liquids whose density is less? Already we have discussed kerosene, then petrol, diesel, then oil. All these have density less than that of water. That is the reason why it floats on the water. Okay. So now what we are going to do is, we are going to find out the relative density of kerosene. Okay, we are going to find out the relative density of kerosene. So, you are comparing kerosene with that of water. Can you tell me the density of water? Already we have discussed in the first class, isn't it? What is the density of water? It is 1000 kilogram per meter cube. Isn't it? Density of water is 1000 kilogram per meter cube. And what about kerosene? It is kerosene. It is 810 kilogram per meter cube. Okay, so what is the question now? We are going to find out the relative density of kerosene. So how will you find out the relative density of kerosene? Relative density of kerosene is equal to density of kerosene by density of water. By density of. Tell me the density of kerosene. It is 810 kilogram per meter cube. By what is the density of water? 1000 kilogram per meter cube. Okay. Okay. What is 810 divided by 1000? It is 0.810. Okay, so this is the relative density of kerosene. Understood how to find out the relative density? So, in order to find out the relative density of a substance, you have to divide the density of that substance by water. Okay, so relative density. Yes. Look at that. Relative density of a substance is the ratio of the density of the substance to the density of water. Okay, relative density is equal to density of substance by density of water. Since it is a ratio, relative density has no unit. Okay. Now you have understood how to find out the relative density. Okay. Now, can you tell me how will you measure this relative density? There is an instrument to measure the relative density. Do you know what is it? Yes, it is hydrometer. So, hydrometer is an instrument used to measure the relative density. Okay, so tell me what happens when you dip this hydrometer into a liquid. What happens? It sinks. Okay, it depends. For example, you are taking water and kerosene in 2 beakers. Okay. മനസ്സിലാവുന്നുണ്ടോ? അതായത് രണ്ട് ബീക്കറിൽ ഒരു ബീക്കറിൽ നിങ്ങൾ വെള്ളം എടുക്കുകയാണ്, ഒന്നിൽ നിങ്ങൾ കെറോസിൻ എടുക്കുകയാണ്. എന്നിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ഈ ഹൈഡ്രോമീറ്റർ അതിൽ ഇട്ട് കൊടുക്കുകയാണ്. രണ്ടിലും ഒരേപോലെ തന്നെയായിരിക്കും അത് സിങ്ക് ചെയ്ത് എടുക്കുക? ഒരേ അളവിൽ തന്നെയായിരിക്കും കാണിക്കുക? അല്ല. അപ്പോൾ ഇതിൽ ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ ഹൈഡ്രോമീറ്റർ സിങ്ക് ചെയ്ത് പോകുന്നത്, താണു പോകുന്നത് ഏതിലായിരിക്കും? പറയാൻ പറ്റുമോ? ഏതിലായിരിക്കും? യെസ്, ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് kerosene. Okay, hydrometer sinks more in kerosene. Why? What is the reason? Because density of kerosene is less. So we can tell hydrometer sinks in a liquid, sinks more in a liquid with less density. അതായത് ഡെൻസിറ്റി കുറവുള്ള ലിക്വിഡ്സിൽ ഹൈഡ്രോമീറ്റർ sinks more. Okay, so comparing to water, hydrometer sinks more in kerosene. Is it clear? Now take the case of water and saline water. You know what is saline water, isn't it? It is salt water. So we are taking water and saline water. Can you tell me in which liquid the hydrometer sinks more? Yes, it is in water. വെള്ളത്തിലായിരിക്കും താണു പോവുക. What may be the reason? Yes, because the density of water is less than that of saline water. Saline water ne compare ചെയ്തു നോക്കുമ്പോൾ density of water is less. Okay, so in general we can tell hydrometer sinks more in a liquid having less density. Okay, hydrometer sinks more in less denser liquid and it floats on more denser liquids. Is it clear? That is the reason why the hydrometer reading increases towards the bottom. അതായത് ഹൈഡ്രോമീറ്റർ റീഡിംഗ് താഴത്തോട്ട് വരുമ്പോഴാണ് എന്ത് സംഭവിക്കുക? ഇൻക്രീസ് ആയിട്ട് വരും. Why is it increasing? Because hydrometer sinks less in a liquid having greater density. Okay. So can you tell me how can you adulterate milk? one simple method to adulterate milk. Adulteration means what? മായം ചേർക്കുക അല്ലേ? എങ്ങനെയാണ് നമുക്ക് മിൽക്കിനെ മായം ചേർക്കുക? സിമ്പിൾ ആയിട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. By adding water. അല്ലേ? So how will you test? Or can you tell me the name of the device used to test the purity of milk? It is lactometer. Okay. It is lactometer. Lactometer is an instrument used to test the purity of milk. It is basically hydrometer itself. So when you put this lactometer into the milk, we can understand whether it is pure milk or adulterated milk. Is it clear? So in pure milk, it sinks less. Whereas in adulterated milk, it sinks more. Understood about relative density? Okay. Now, it's the homework for you. Yes, this is a homework. See the first question. A piece of stone experiences a loss of weight while inside water. Give reason. Okay. The second one. Though an egg sinks in pure water, it will float on salt water. Third one. Kerosene floats on water. Fourth one, a ship floats on water. And the last one, when a body was placed in a liquid, it remained in the same position. Okay, so you have to give reason for these questions. Hope you have understood the concepts what we have discussed today. See you all in the next class with a new topic. Bye.